Hello friends, I hope everyone is doing great. Today we will discuss about a very important topic that is about suits and plaints. This video will be of great use to the students who have just graduated from their law school and who are looking to work with any litigating firm, and also other viewers who are interested in learning about plaint and suits. Now, further in this video, I'll explain what is a suit, how it is instituted, what is a plaint, how it is instituted, and the contents of a plaint. So friends, let's get started with the topic. Now the first and foremost thing, what is a suit? The section 26 of the CPC describes what is a suit. Section 26 reads as follows. Institution of suits. Every suit shall be instituted by the presentation of a plaint or in such other manner as may be prescribed. Now friends, after the bare reading of the text, it is self-explanatory that any suit is instituted by the presentation of a plaint. The written statement, that is the plaint by the plaintiff, is the first step towards the initiation of a suit. Now, we will discuss about plaint, how it is instituted, and what are the essentials or contents of a plaint. Plaint is basically a written statement of the plaintiff before the Honorable Court. It is important to mention that plaintiff is a person who initiates the plaint, and respondent or defendant is a person against whom such claims have been made. Now, Order 7 of the CPC elaborates the contents of a plaint. Now, I will explain all of these with the help of an example. Supposedly, we are drafting a plaint for a daughter claiming her share in her father's ancestral property. Now, the plaint would firstly mention the name of the court in which the suit is brought, followed by at which place it is being instituted. For an example, in the Court of Metropolitan Magistrate at New Delhi, or in the Court of Sub-Judge Gaya or Varanasi, or whatever it may be. Further, any type of suit has a uniform nomenclature which in brief speaks about the nature of the plaint, may it be civil or criminal, like CS number 123 of 2021, whereby CS stands for civil suit, or WP in bracket C number 415 of 2021, whereby WP in bracket C stands for writ petition under Article 226 and 227 of the Indian Constitution. Now generally, the suit number is left blank at the time of the filing of the suit, as the number is provided by the filing office. Further, we mention the name of the parties in a manner where we just use the name of the first party followed by ANR or ORS. Now, whenever there are two plaintiffs, the abbreviation in introducing the parties we use as ANR, and in case where there are more than two parties, we use the abbreviation ORS. ANR stands for another, ORS stands for others. Like in this case, I would take some hypothetical example like Rajneesh Malhotra and ANR versus Arvind Mehra and ANR. Now, this abbreviation we use for reason that in case there are two plaintiffs and two defendants. Similarly, we will use the abbreviation ORS followed by the name of any plaintiff when there are more than two plaintiffs in a case. After writing the name of the court and the name of the parties, we have to mention the entire same thing on starting of every head, like when we write the index, memo of parties, the main plaint and the affidavit. Now, we mention the index followed by page number for the perusal of Honorable Court. Index basically comprises of memo of parties, plaint, annexures, any application we attach in furtherance to the filing of the plaint, like application under 151 CPC followed by Wakalatnama. The next is the memo of parties. Now, this section of the plaint generally deals with the description of the parties like name, address, contact details and email of the parties. It is of paramount importance to mention that the memo of parties should be arranged serially. This brings clarity before the Honorable Court as to which plaintiff or defendant are we mentioning about. Subsequently, after mentioning memo of parties, we move towards the main plaint. The main plaint starts with subject of the plaint like suit for partition or suit for recovery of rupees 5 lakh against the respondent with an interest of 24% per annum from the date of cause of action. Further, we start the main plaint mentioning most respectfully Shwet, and in the first paragraph we introduce the plaintiff in the present suit and mention the plaintiff's age and address. Followed by the same, we present the facts of the case before the Honorable Court, explaining as to why the suit has been initiated before the Honorable Court. I would like to mention a very important issue here, that whenever we write a plaint, it is important for a lawyer to practice utmost care while drafting and mentioning each and every facts of the case, because on the later stage, whatever you address before the court, you cannot go beyond your pleadings. Moving forward, there are some ancillary portions that you have to mention in your plaint. Firstly, when did the cause of action arose? Secondly, you have to satisfy the court on the issue of the jurisdiction, that wherever you are filing the said suit, the court has the jurisdiction for the trial of the suit. Thirdly, valuation of the suit. For example, you are filing a suit for partition of a property where the value of the land is rupees 10 lakhs. The valuation of your suit would be of 10 lakhs. Moving ahead, while drafting your plaint, it is important to place evidences in form of documents before the court, and the same is marked as annexures. For example, if you are filing for the partition of a property, you will have to attach the registry paper or khata number or plot number in which you demand a share as annexure to the present suit. The plaint includes of a prayer clause where you mention directly that what remedy or relief you seek from the Honorable Court. Like example, in a partition suit, you would pray before the Honorable Court to grant the petitioner 1/3 share of the property and to pass such order or further orders which the Honorable Court may deem fit and proper under the facts and circumstances of the case and in interest and furtherance of justice. Any suit or plaint is supported by an affidavit. The affidavit is duly signed by the plaintiff, which mentions that the suit is drafted by their counsel and the same has been read to the plaintiff in their vernacular language. After the affidavit, we place all the annexures serially as mentioned in the plaint, followed by Wakalatnama. Wakalatnama is basically an authority given to the counsel by the party to represent him or her in the present case. So friends, I hope this video will be of great help to you all, and I pray for your well-being as we know how COVID has battered our lives. Friends, if you like the video, please share, comment and subscribe the channel and stay tuned for more videos. Until then, Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.